Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are in the playoffs, but they're playing for home field advantage today. The Dallas Cowboys, 1-15 a year ago, suddenly find themselves with a real shot at a playoff position. A victory today would put them there. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Atmosphere is great here, and these Cowboys and the Eagles, an arch rivalry indeed. With the Washington loss to Indianapolis last night, if the Eagles win their last two games, they will have the home field advantage. Joining me, as always, Irv Cross. And Irv, we did that game 6 weeks ago at Texas Stadium. Both these teams much improved now.
Well, two different football teams today, Tim, because 6 weeks ago, the Cowboys had trouble running the football. Right now, they have an effective running game, an improved offensive line play. Their rookie running back, Emmitt Smith, is fastly becoming a 1,000-yard rusher. And, of course, Troy Aikman is becoming more effective as a quarterback. Now, on the Eagles side of the coin, Randall Cunningham is the NFC-ranked, top-ranked quarterback. And one reason for that is the emergence of two rookie wide receivers, Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett.
Well, the Cowboys are going to have the ball first, and it'll be an ex-Cowboy kicking it off to them. Roger Ruzick, Alexander Wright, and Derek Shepard are the deep receivers. The sellout crowd still filtering into Veterans Stadium under gloomy skies. Rain is expected before this game is over. And the kickoff goes out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. There has been some precipitation already here in Philadelphia today. Indeed, for the last couple of days, unusually warm temperatures. But heavy rains could arrive in the second half. Troy Aikman comes out to lead the Dallas offense. They will take the ball at the 35-yard line. 2-A, Kerr, Stepnoski, Giesick, Newton, and Jay Novacek having an outstanding year at tight end. Agee and Smith, the running backs. Michael Irvin and Kelvin Martin, the wide receivers. Intended for Irvin on first down, thrown out of bounds. Frizzell had the coverage on Michael Irvin. Philadelphia defensively, a few changes and a few injuries. Reggie White, Mike Golick, Jerome Brown, and Clyde Simmons. Golick in there in the spot normally held by Mike Pitts. Joyner, Evans, and Small healthy at the linebacker spot, although Joyner bothered with the flu. Smith and Eric Allen, the safety positions where they're hurting today. Terry Hogan, William Frizzell, Hogan, Andre Waters spot, and Frizzell in the free safety spot normally held by Wes Hopkins. Hopkins with a calf injury, Waters with a hip injury, not starting today. Both are in uniform. 2nd and 10. Emmitt Smith for about 2 yards, no more. It'll leave 3rd down and 8. Clyde Simmons made the stop. He's playing hurt today as well. A somewhat banged up Eagles, and Jimmy Johnson, a determined look on his face and an unhappy one as well at that 2nd down play.
Determined indeed, though. Timmy also said, and Buddy Ryan is determined for his ball club to get started here, but on the Cowboys side of the line of scrimmage, they seem to feel that they have to win on the road and play a big-time team if they're going to be an effective playoff club. So this Eagle game today for the Cowboys is a real playoff experience for them.
3rd and 8. Dropped at the 22-yard line. Byron Evans, the linebacker, blitzing number 56, and Jesse Small right behind him.
Tim, the Eagles believe at getting to the quarterback with their front four. They have a great rush over. This time they go with the middle linebacker, Byron Evans, blitzing right over the guard, right guard John Giesick, and coming up with a big play for the Eagles.
Mike Saxon standing at his 10-yard line. An end-over-end kick is taken at the 42 by Rod Harris, and the former Cowboy gets into Dallas territory. Number 80, Rod Harris, is pumped up. First time he has played against his old teammates. Randall Cunningham brings on the Eagles after that 32-yard punt. Heller, Shad, Alexander, Solt, Singletary, and Keith Jackson, the offensive line. Keith Sherman back in the starting role with Byers, Barnett, and Williams, the rookie wide receivers. And they have really been coming on. Sherman about 8 yards to the Dallas 40. Ken Norton and James Washington made the tackle. Sherman missed last week's game with an injury. Defensively, this has been a good unit for Dallas all season long. Stubbs, Hamill, Noonan, Tony Tolbert for Jim Jeffcoat at right end. Del Rio, Lockhart, and Norton the linebackers. In the secondary, Ike Holt having an outstanding year. Manny Hendricks on the other corner. Horton and James Washington for the injured Vince Albritton at free safety. 2nd and 2. Complete to Barnett. First down, Eagles. Barnett driven out at the 34-yard line by Manny Hendricks. Well, an early injury or equipment repair here. It looks like they're rubbing the back of Mike Golick. Mike Pitts is ready to play today. Buddy Ryan wants him to play 15 or 16 plays. So the rotation of Pitts, Golick, and Brown will be the defensive hope at tackle today for Philadelphia. One setback on first down, Eagles. Sherman for about 5. Running behind Solt and Singletary. And a little pushing and shoving here as there was plenty of talk during the week, and there's some talking on the field already.
Well, you know, you talk about the difference in these two teams and the difference in this game versus the first game they played. They both have effective running games now. Heath Sherman that time flying off his right tackle for the first down there. But Del Rio told us the other day that the Cowboy defense has to establish itself by playing well against the top flight team. You can see right there, number 96, Danny Stubbs. Ooh, a little cheap shot. That's why they had a fight.
Yeah, I'd say that was a clear kick. 2nd down and 6. Little draw play to Sherman, and Dallas reacting well. The ball loose. Cowboys say they have it. Let's see if he was downed or not. And it is going to be Philadelphia ball. Del Rio came up with the loose ball. Noonan and Del Rio put the hit on.
Got to remember, it rained a little bit before the game started, Tim, and the turf is soggy, but the ball has been treated with a chemical, so it is easy to handle. But as Sherman goes down here, the question is he on the ground when the ball pops out, or was he on his way down? It looked to me as though he was on his way down. Ball popped out. It's a fumble. Oh. Well, it wasn't ruled a fumble. It wasn't ruled he was down. Looked like he fumbled it, Tim.
Well, it may have been that the whistle had blown ending play, and it was Eagles ball. And that pass incomplete. Intended for Kenny Jackson, number 83, the veteran from Penn State. So it'll be 4th down, Philadelphia. Hendricks and Washington with the coverage on Jackson. And that'll bring on Roger Ruzek. And they will spot the ball just inside the 38-yard line. So a 47-yard try for Roger Ruzek. 19 of 26 in the field goal department. Punter Jeff Eagles will hold. It is no good. Wide to the left. So we are still scoreless in Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm Reggie White, and this is my wife Sarah, my son Jeremy, and my daughter Jacolia. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus, we would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Reggie White, all right, pretty good performance there. Nice greeting from the big guy.
Dad has to go to work this afternoon. Voted to the Pro Bowl again, Tim, and you know what a player he's been for the Eagles for years.
Joined by his teammate Jerome Brown on the Pro Bowl selections by players in the league. This is Emmitt Smith on first down. Dallas trying to get wide and gets about 2 on sheer speed as the Eagles strung it out well. Forced out by Seth Joyner. Linebacker, when we talked to Joyner, he was bothered by the flu. Emmitt Smith having an outstanding rookie season, and the Dallas folks think he should be a clear candidate for Rookie of the Year honors.
Rookie of the Year, and they also thought perhaps he should have been in the Pro Bowl since Johnson from the Phoenix Cardinals went in, a rookie who they don't think is quite having the year that Emmitt Smith is having.
A 4-yard gain for Smith, 2nd and 6. Aikman just gets it away. Smith has it. He's dropped by Joyner, by Evans. The ball loose. A flag down back behind the line of scrimmage. And Aikman slow to get up at the 20-yard line.
Tim, let's see if we can see what happened to Aikman here. Again, that Eagles coming with their standard 4-man rush. Number 99 breaks through, Jerome Brown, and he's the one who I think makes contact first. No, it's like Simmons. Clyde Simmons, 96, makes contact, and perhaps when he fell on Aikman on the ground, the damage was caused then. But an errant pass. Here it comes now. Number 96, Simmons, making a tackle, is simply taking Aikman to the ground cleanly. And Troy right now is in pain.
Now, meanwhile, they've marked the ball up where it was caught by Emmitt Smith. And whether they're calling that a catch and a fumble out of bounds would appear to be the case. The referee is Gordon McCarter. As you see Jimmy Johnson coming out to check on his quarterback, Troy Aikman. And it looked like Simmons was the man who made the hit. Babe Laufenberg is the backup quarterback and may have to see some early action here today. The 30-year-old from the University of Indiana and several NFL teams.
It was a clean play, Tim, but when you have Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons standing side by side on the defensive line, it's very difficult to contain those people. Simmons has 7 sacks coming into the league into this game today. Now, of course, that wasn't recorded as a sack, but he puts an awful lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And let's hope that Troy Aikman is going to be okay.
It appears to be his right shoulder that Aikman is favoring. We'll try and get a report for you as quickly as we can. It's going to be 2nd and 16, so evidently they ruled that an incomplete pass. I'm not sure why the ball is back. If he got the ball away, they must have called him in the grasp.
They had to record that as a sack, Tim, because
yes,
the ball would be up 6 more yards. So you have to credit Clyde Simmons with a sack.
Right. Well, they were standing with the mark up where the ball was caught, but now we're told there was a holding penalty, which was that first flag we saw. So Laufenberg, and it's complete. Tommy Agee out of the backfield and may be close to the marker here for a first down. Terry Hogue on the coverage. So the holding penalty against Dallas brought the ball back to that 2nd and 16. They evidently had ruled it a completed pass, wiped out by the penalty.
Tim, that was really a big-time play, though, by Babe Laufenberg. Just put yourself in his position. He had to come in without really warming up adequately. And in the first play, you have to throw a pass to get at least 16 yards to get a first down for your club. Now, Tommy Agee, number 34, doesn't have a great reputation for being a great receiver, but here he's running a little flat pattern here. Brings the pass in very nicely and picks up the first down. But on, you got to credit Babe Laufenberg with really a big-time play.
16 yards for the first down, right to the marker, and they're now at their 40-yard line. Laufenberg will continue. Aikman being attended to on the Cowboys bench. First down, Dallas. No score. First quarter, Philadelphia. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross. The hard hitting early. There's Aikman on the bench. Smith. About 2. Forced out by Hogue.
Tim, we just got word that Troy Aikman is going into the locker room to have his right shoulder x-rayed. And after that examination, he'll have some idea of the extent of the injury.
Well, let's hope for Troy Aikman and the Cowboys and their fans' sake that there's nothing too serious involved, as they are on the brink of a playoff opportunity and their outstanding young second-year quarterback injured. Second down. A long 8. The veteran Babe Laufenberg. Much travel. Hits Kelvin Martin. The ball is loose. A flag is down. The Eagles have it. Hogue. Terry Hogue returns it to the 48-yard line. The flag occurred after Kelvin Martin had caught the ball just when it came loose. And there is another flag back at the line of scrimmage. And meanwhile, a skirmish on the sidelines. So all kinds of action on that play. Referee Gordon McCarter will consult with his officials. We have a flag at the line of scrimmage and one downfield. Laufenberg, meanwhile, Irv threw a great pass to Kelvin Martin.
Well, what he did well, Tim, is he read blitz right away. And basically with most teams, your read is to run quick slants, quick inside patterns to defeat that blitz. And Kelvin Martin saw it. Dave saw it at the same time. And they beat Eric Allen on the inside on the quick post. And it's a well-thrown ball. But right now we have to sort out what all these penalty flags are.
Allen, meanwhile, was the man who knocked the ball loose after Martin had made the catch. The perfect strike from Laufenberg. Let's see it again.
Take a look at it. Number 83, Kelvin Martin, is the man on the top side of the screen here. Runs a quick post. You see there's a red dog, a blitzing situation. Linebackers coming. Kelvin Martin read that, broke inside, which is his basic rule, to get inside against the blitz. And Eric Allen, 21, makes a tackle and strips the ball. Now we've got all kinds of action going on here. Brazil, the Hope picks it up, and we've got penalty flags all over the field right now. Comes Terry
There's
Hope.
one back at the line of scrimmage that couldn't negate the whole thing, but let's see what sorts out. The second flag was downfield. You saw it fly on the replay just after Allen stripped the ball. Miami and Buffalo, Houston, Cincinnati, they're scoreless. Those are big games today. We'll be keeping up to date on those along with all of the rest of the action in the league.
Gee, I wonder what it could be. You know, Gordon McCarter's referee, number 48. He's the man trying to sort all this out right now. And hopefully in the next couple of seconds we'll find out what happened.
We have 3 fouls, all against the defense. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 22 here. We have a face mask against the runner before the fumble. It will be a 5-yard face mask. We have an unnecessary roughness after the play out of bounds. The penalty to be accepted will be the 5-yard face mask from the spot of the fumble down to retain the football.
First down. The reason for that, Tim, was among those 3 penalties, the most severe penalty you can assess against the defense would be that call. So the Eagles, having 3 penalties called on them in one play, defensively find out that they're going to push themselves in a hole here with that face mask penalty.
Well, Eric Allen was the guy who stripped the ball, so he must have also been the man who had the face mask on Martin as he reached in there trying to knock the ball away. Got a hold of some iron before he got the leather.
Yeah. That happens a lot, Tim, when you're behind the receiver and your defensive back trying to make a play and you swing your hand over the receiver's shoulder. You're just trying to bring him down, but oftentimes you will find yourself grabbing that face mask. Apparently, that's what Eric Allen did that time.
Well, nonetheless, a break for the Cowboys here. After a good pass, they saw it stripped away, but they get to keep the ball. First down at the 32-yard line of the Eagles. Dave Laufenberg, the quarterback for the injured Troy Aikman. Emmitt Smith. A yard, maybe 2. Stuffed at the 30. Jerome Brown, number 99, with initial contact. And the linebacker, Jesse Small, number 52.
Tim, what the Cowboys like to do with their offense is have Emmitt Smith run from the eye and then come upfield and break off tackle. This time he's in a 2-back set where he's trying to get outside. The Eagle defense shuts everything down, but he has such great ability to define holes and openings. He sort of slides up there and gets a couple of yards out of really a play that was not blocked.
Emmitt Smith had a big day last week in the victory over Phoenix. Laufenberg steps up and off the hands of Agee out of the backfield, covered by the linebacker Small. Mike Pitts comes in for Mike Golick defensively, and Pitts, who has been out with an injury for some time, getting some playing action this afternoon with the playoffs ahead. Buddy Ryan wants to get him in there 15 or 16 plays today.
Well, he said he's really excited about being back, Tim. He's been out since September 19th, and he's excited about it. His wife Gina's excited about it. His son Michael Anthony's excited about it. He's anxious to play football again.
3rd down and 8. Alexander Wright made the catch at the sideline, and they say he is out of bounds.
Really a terrific catch on Wright's part, Tim, even though he came down out of bounds. But number 81, Alexander Wright, has blazing speed. This time just in good position, goes up high. Does he bring both feet down? No, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And he comes down out of bounds. Now, the official has to judge in his own mind's eye whether or not he could have come down with both feet, whether the defensive back was on him or not. If the defensive back pushed him out, he forced him out, of course, that would have been the completed pass. But they ruled that his momentum would have carried him out of bounds, whether the defensive back had been there or not.
Ben Smith had the coverage on Wright, the rookie from Auburn. And Laufenberg takes a timeout at the 30-yard line. We'll be back. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross as we see Jimmy Johnson here, who is going for it from the 30-yard line. Laufenberg took the timeout, but they did not have the kicking unit on the field. He had already intended to go. Laufenberg obviously wanted to make sure they have the right play. It is 4th and 8. The ball is at the 30-yard line of the Eagles. No score here in the first period. 7:19 to go, and the rain now increasing in intensity.
What this means to me, Tim, is that the Cowboys really believe their pass offense is much stronger than the Eagles' pass defense. 4th and 8 here. They're certainly not going to run the ball against the Eagles' defense. It's number 1 in the league. So this one goes up in the air.
Intended for Martin, and just got the end of his fingertips. Coverage by Izell Jenkins. Laufenberg just overthrows Kelvin Martin. So the Eagles will take over the ball. And for an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Well, Tim, the Tampa Bay Bucks still in the hunt for a wild card spot. Vinny Testaverde and the Bucks draw first blood, 6 yards to Mark Carrier. 7-0 Bucks. First quarter at Chicago, Tim.
It's like a frosty day in the Windy City, as it is in much of the country, but not here in the East. We've got rain falling in Philadelphia.
Well, Tim, even in Dallas this week it was very cold. The Cowboys had like a 15 or 20 degree weather on Friday, and then when they left to come here, it was the wind chill factor is well below 0.
Eagles from their 30-yard line. First down, no score. Short drop from Cunningham. Intended for Williams, incomplete, and a nice defensive play. Diving in front of it, Manny Hendricks nearly picked it off.
What the Cowboys do, Tim, is they'll play as the first down play. They like to play a zone defense on first down, but they'll have what they call soft corners, where both their cornerbacks will sort of roll up about 5 or 6 yards deep and invite the receivers down. And Hendricks is in that kind of position. And for a second or two, it looks like man coverage, but it winds up being a short zone, and he almost came up with a big play.
2nd and 10 Eagles. Williams in motion. Sherman gets about 3 or 4 yards of flag down as he was chased by Ike Holt. Gordon McCarter checking with the head linesman on this call. And the umpire, Ben Montgomery.
First, 5-yard penalty. Back down from the end of the run. We'll repeat second down.
So a face mask call here against Dallas this time.
Number 30, Isaac Holt's going to be the man who does it. You can see Heath Sherman, number 23, trying to get outside, and Holt goes up high. And that's one reason why I grabbed the face mask. And really, when you come from the outside like that on the corner, you want to hit those guys from the waist level down if at all possible. Holt was up high, wasn't in position to really make the play. The only way you could stop him was reach up high and grab the face mask.
And it was a grasping the face mask call for only 5 yards. You saw him let go of it right away. Second down, less than a yard near the 40. Byers. First down Eagles, and Byers batters his way near the 50-yard line. Norton and Tolbert combined to pull him down.
The Cowboys run something they call a 4-3 stack, where they have like 7 people jammed in between offensive tackle. The Eagles like to get off tackle when they do that. Number 41, Keith Byers, going to his left off tackle, makes pretty good yardage. Again, you can get that the tight end to come back and block down and get one block on the defensive end. You have a pretty good shot for good yardage. That was the play.
Well, you can see the rain really starting to come down heavily now here in Philadelphia. Cunningham on the loose, gets a good block. All the way to the 17-yard line where Hendricks steered him out. Keith Sherman threw a terrific block there, Irv, reacting well to Cunningham's scramble. 33-yard gain.
You can't defense this, Tim. The difference between Randall Cunningham now and in past years is that he only runs when everything else breaks down. He gives that pass offense a chance to develop. Nothing there. You can see number 51, Ken Norton, going down on a vicious block by Heath Sherman. And Randall Cunningham, who's the leading rusher on this Eagle team and fast emerging as a 1,000-yard rusher as quarterback to set a league record. If he can do that, comes up with big yardage.
We'll be back at Veterans Stadium in a moment. We're at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 6:01 to go in the first. Scoreless game. Eagles driving at the 18 of Dallas. Keith Byers, he can throw. He does. Wide open is Williams. Touchdown. Four passes this season for Keith Byers. 4 completions, 4 touchdowns. The all-purpose back connecting with the rookie Williams. What a year he is having. Ruzek for the point after. It is good, although he actually mishit it. 7-0 Eagles. There's the man of the moment. Keith Byers to Williams, and we'll be back at Veterans Stadium with the Eagles on top. Keith Byers, Eagles nominee for Man of the Year, an outstanding football player, an outstanding guy who's contributed greatly to charities here in Philadelphia and works closely with the Big Brothers.
It's funny, Tim, we asked him if he wanted to be in the Pro Bowl or be voted Man of the Year. He said, I'd like to have both. But if given my choice, I'd rather be Man of the Year. He's disappointed he didn't make the Pro Bowl. He said, I'd rather be Man of the Year because it was a sign that you're giving something back to your community.
As you saw in that stat, we mentioned when it happened, quite an accomplishment. 4 passes, all of them for touchdowns. Shepard from the 3. Driven out at the 25-yard line by Dick Chapura, reserve defensive tackle, former Bear.
Take another look at that touchdown, Tim. You can see Byers here in his halfback position, takes the handoff, he goes into a sweep position, and take a look what happens to the defense. Cunningham on the handoff, giving the ball to Byers. Now the key here is that the Eagles felt like, here's the handoff right here, the Eagles felt like once they showed that action, the cornerback, Isaac Holt, number 30, you can't see on the screen here, would bite. He would come up and play a run. You'll eventually see him come. There he is right there, number 30. And Calvin Williams is wide open because Calvin Williams is Isaac Holt's man. Isaac Holt thought it was going to be a run, not a pass. The key there, he threw the ball right in from the right side. He's left-handed.
Laufenberg on first down to the tight end Novacek for what may be a first down. Dave Laufenberg in for the injured Troy Aikman. We are awaiting a medical report on Aikman. Have not received one as yet. They took him to the locker room for x-rays on his right shoulder. That's the last we heard. Houston on top of Cincinnati in a big game in the AFC Central, and Pittsburgh likewise, and the dogfight there for the Central Division lead. And they have a handy lead over the Browns. Laufenberg now 3 of 6 for 48 yards in his relief role. Emmitt Smith. Jerome Brown gets him after a gain of no more than a yard. Simmons there to help.
That's the basic formation that the Cowboys have run. I call it an offset I, with the blocking back. Tommy Agee set up and offside to one side of Emmitt Smith, and he is in a deep I formation. The Eagles skiing on that. Come in with a nice play by Jerome Brown. Brown made the Pro Bowl again this year too, Tim.
Yes, indeed, along with Reggie White, Cunningham, and Keith Jackson from the offense. 4 Pro Bowlers. Cowboys unhappy. Nobody selected from their team. Emmitt Smith, the rookie, has just 10 yards and 5 carries so far. Eagles said they wouldn't let him run against him. Laufenberg in some trouble. Try to get it to the tight end Novacek. Well covered by the middle linebacker Byron Evans, number 56. Well, the Cowboys, amazingly for most fans around the league, at 7-7 coming into this game. And yesterday they got some help from the Detroit Lions. Green Bay was eliminated. Minnesota was eliminated by the Raiders. And so that means if the Cowboys win today, they're in as a wild card. Or even if they lose, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Phoenix lose, they're in. So the Cowboys in the driver's seat for that final playoff spot.
Funny though, Tim, talking to the players last night, the Cowboy players, they really weren't aware of those combinations. They said all we have to do is play one game and beat Philadelphia.
Yes, that's right. They were focused for sure. 3rd and 9. Laufenberg for Novacek. Almost made a great one-hander on it. Had a step on the coverage man Seth Joyner, but the pass too high.
I think he had that step on Seth Joyner primarily, Tim, because we know Seth has the flu. He missed a couple of days of practice, and when we talked to him Saturday, he was in the training room Friday. He was in the training room all day long trying to get that flu out of his system, and he's not really feeling real well right now.
Saxon, the punter, and Rod Harris, the former Cowboy, the return man. He had a 30-yard return in last week's victory over the Green Bay Packers. Saxon. Line drive punt. Harris took it and takes a shot, but holds on to the ball. Good hit by Tommy Agee, number 34.
Takes great concentration to return punts, Tim. This time, Rod Harris doesn't quite have the handle, but he has enough composure about himself to hang on to the ball. You know, he was with the Cowboys the first time these two teams played, and Tommy Agee says, hello, ex-teammate, and wraps it.
Last week he bobbled one and wound up returning it 30 yards, but this time I'm sure he feels just lucky to have held on.
You know, his middle name was World. And I asked him, I said, you're kidding me, World? I said, no, he said, I'm telling you my name. I said, why would somebody name me? He said, I don't know, my mother named me World. My middle name is World. I still don't know why he doesn't.
Well, basketball player had it as his first name, World Free. This is Sherman, and he is stopped for a loss by Danny Noonan. It'll be a loss of a couple of yards. Noonan just slashing in there to make a good stop. Now the Eagles playing for the home field advantage, and they got an unexpected helping last night from Indianapolis, who beat the Redskins 35-28. They really thought they'd be in Washington playing their wild card game. However, they can get the home field if they win here today and next week at Phoenix, or if they beat Dallas or Phoenix, just winning one, and get another Washington loss. Sherman gets to the 35-yard line for a gain of about 7. And Vincent Smith made the stop. And that home field would be important because, as you can see here, Irv, they both like to play at home when they play each other.
Well, no doubt about it. It's a different kind of an environment. When you go to RFK Stadium, it's a grass field, noisy crowd. They sing that Redskin fight song, and it gives the Redskins quite a boost. So they have a little edge there. Here in Philadelphia, it's basically the same way. When you come to the Vet, you have 60,000 screaming Eagle fans, and that does give you a decided edge on the home field. Vincent
Smith in for the injured Ken Norton, and Jesse Solomon has come in now. And he is in a down line position defensively. Cunningham intended for Byers, intercepted by Hendricks on the rebound, and the Cowboys have it at the 41-yard line of the Eagles. Cunningham tried to force that one into some traffic, Irv, and he paid the price.
Well, he did, but the ball wound up hitting Byers right in the chest, it seems. Again, pretty good. A lot of time, good blocking up front by the offensive line, makes a delivery here. And Byers really actually was hit at the same time the ball arrived. It looked like Bill Bates is the guy who punched it out of there, a veteran who's done that any number of times. And Manny Hendricks comes up with the carom for a key interception for the Cowboys. And they're in great shape here.
From the 41-yard line, down 7-0, 2:20 to go in the first. Laufenberg continues at quarterback for the injured Aikman. Emmitt Smith straight ahead for 3, maybe 4 yards.
It's really funny, Tim. You know the Cowboys want to get their running game going because they have a premier running back there in Emmitt Smith who can do make a lot of big plays for them. And then they also have their passing philosophy geared around that running game. If they can run well, particularly on first down, then it gives them a chance to run play-action passes on first down to take advantage of what they consider as a fairly vulnerable Eagle secondary. So they have to get that running game going, and right now the Eagle front four is winning that battle.
2nd down and 6, Cowboys, Eagles territory. Play action, Laufenberg for A.G. Hit immediately, but appears to have the first down, and does at the 29-yard line. William Frizzell made the tackle, but a good play by Laufenberg and A.G.
Well, one way to get away from pass rush pressure, Tim, is to roll out. You can draw screens, but you have your quarterback move away from that pocket. That time the Cowboys run a modified play called a dash, where the quarterback will roll outside of that defensive end, and Reggie White, who was out there all along, couldn't get to him because Dave was outside of him and completed the pass.
Johnny A.G. has been a good pickup. Plan B from Kansas City. Out of Auburn, they blocked with Bo Jackson, great forward. Short drop by Laufenberg. The wide receiver Martin for a gain of 8, maybe 9 on the play. Kelvin Martin coming in with 54 catches on the season, and a very steady man catching the ball.
Yeah, he's had some big plays from him. Not a very big man, but he makes crucial catches at good speed. He's only about 5'9", but here he makes this catch, and Ben Smith comes up to make the play, number 26. And is there a face mask penalty there or not? Looks like he has it. But no one called it, so it's because officials behind him. But he did have his hand on the face mask, and probably should have drawn a flag.
A yard short of the first down, 2nd and 1 at the 20. Reverse, dropped by Martin, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Back at the 33-yard line, Jesse Small covers him there. Well, you might wonder about a razzle-dazzle play when you're in this position, Irv.
This position on a wet field with a ball that's, been rolling around on the ground. But here, the ball is handed off to Calvin Martin. This skids right through his hands. You can see he didn't really have a chance to get control of it. And
looked like Smith made a pretty good handoff to him, though.
Well, he did, but it just slipped right through. Now, the ball is treated with a chemical so that it's water resistant. I mean, you have to keep wiping it off constantly. You have a little tacky surface to it. But when the ball changes 2 or 3 times between different players, it does get wet.
It is still raining here, although not as severely. And the gun sounded ending the quarter before they got the play off. So that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Eagles 7, the Cowboys nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. Magnavox, smart, very smart. And by Miller Lite, with a reminder to think when you drink this holiday season.
Tim Ryan and Irv Cross in Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium, where the rain has abated. It's cloudy, muggy, and warm here in the east. And the second quarter about to begin with the Eagles on top 7-0. Dallas has the football. 3rd down and 15 from the 33-yard line of the Eagles. A Byers to Calvin Williams pass, the only score so far in this game for Philadelphia. Laufenberg to Martin, hit immediately by Eric Allen. A gain of only about 5. And for an NFL update, let's go again to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, early in the second quarter, Brad Muster bulls his way 5 yards to the 6-inch line. Mike Tomczak took it in on the next play. 7-7 tie in Chicago. The Bucs cannot afford a loss if they still entertain wild card hopes, Tim.
Okay, Greg. Vinny Testaverde and company trying to hang in there. These Cowboys in better shape, obviously, 7-7 with a real shot at the wild card. A 46-yard field goal try by Ken Willis. And it is good. So Willis, who has been a hot hand, is now 10 of his last 11 field goals, and he makes it 7-3. 7-3 Philadelphia lead after the field goal by Willis. Early in the first quarter, Troy Aikman took this hit from Simmons as he released the football, and the word is that he has a separated right shoulder. A severe blow for Aikman and his teammates and Dallas fans, and Babe Laufenberg working in relief. Willis will kick it off. Thomas Sanders from the 2-yard line. Dropped by Britt Hager at the 10, along with Jesse Solomon, number 54. And the quarterback injury list, Irv, continues to grow. Scott Campbell, the second-string quarterback for the Falcons, out. That other list, Dilweg, Grogan, Harbaugh, Kelly, and now joined by Troy Aikman, Hozar, Mikowski, Miller, Sims, and Wilson. I mean, it's been brutal.
Well, some of those injuries were non-contact injuries, though, Tim, where the quarterback was in the pocket trying to get out and twisted his knee or something. But in this case, the one we saw with Aikman, he went down pretty heavily when Clyde Simmons had him in his grasp and drove him into the turf and separated the shoulder.
So the Eagles start from their 10-yard line. Sherman bumped by a blocker, and then a good response by Jack Del Rio, the linebacker, number 55, prevented him from getting anything at all.
Boy, Del Rio's an interesting story, Tim. You know, he came in from on waivers from Kansas City and was really upset that he didn't play more at Kansas City and thought he was probably released from Kansas City because of some problems during the strike time there. But he's no USC player, and he believes that you earn everything you get. And he's very proud of the way this Dallas Cowboy defense has played, and he's finally getting to the point where he's beginning to receive the recognition he feels he deserves.
And an outstanding year for him. A loss of a yard on that play. Del Rio and Manu Cosby. Cunningham complete to the tight end Schuler, and he is close to a first down. Cunningham really whipped that ball. Lockhart and Washington on the tackle. Now Keith Jackson, the starter at tight end, bothered with a knee injury, suffered in the warm-up to last week's game.
Tim, the Cowboys run something called a 4-3 stack. You see all three linebackers stacked inside from tackle to tackle. The Eagles this time elect to go to a hook pattern with the tight end. He just settles in between the linebackers and in front of the deep backs there for an intermediate reception. But, nice read on Schuler's part. And
it is a first down, Philadelphia. Jackson, as we mentioned, actually sat out the second half last week, bothered by that knee after the Eagles were on top of Green Bay. Sherman trying to pick his way, and he is stuffed. Vincent Smith in there for the injured Ken Norton, making the tackle along with Jack Del Rio. Norton, we're told, has a sprained ankle from that block on him by Heath Sherman. So the Cowboys without Aikman and Ken Norton at this point.
Cowboys do a good job of keeping their linebackers free, and they flow well to the ball. Smith making a key play that time.
Cunningham directing traffic, hits Keith Jackson. Jackson drops the ball. It's kicked downfield. Calvin Williams with a diving grab. What a superb heads-up play by the rookie Calvin Williams.
He's made plays like that all year as a receiver, Tim. This time he comes up recovering a key fumble for the Eagles. Jackson's wide open, makes a reception. He gets hit here, and the ball's pulled out. Looked like James Washington ripped it out of there. Keith Byers can't get a handle on it. And here comes Calvin Williams. I tell you, if Isaac Holt hadn't pushed him, one of the Cowboys would have had a chance to get in there. Isaac Holt kind of pushing right down on the ball.
Eagles hurry Schuler off the field. Some kind of a miscue here, but Cunningham carries on. And he's got a completion out the right side to Barnett to make it Williams, Calvin Williams.
Take a look at that, into that last play where the fumble is recovered by number 89, Calvin Williams. Again, Keith Jackson makes a reception there, gets hit, and looks like the ball is stripped out of there by James Washington. Now, Byers can't get it. He kind of boots the ball, and it goes upfield. Here comes Calvin Williams. And Isaac Holt trying to push him out of the way, actually pushed him on the football.
The coaches love to see the guy just make sure he's got possession. He didn't try to pick it up. That's what I thought was the heads-up part of that play. Just make sure you have it. Second down and 3. Sherman Going for the 10-yard line and the marker. He'll be short by about a yard, it appears. Tolbert and Del Rio made the stop. But the Eagles threatening again here. They'll be third and less than a yard. And they have had pretty good success inside the 20. Third and about a half a yard for a first down. Barnett and Byers go out to the left. Williams and Jackson go out to the right. Cunningham sneaks for the first down. Eagles inside the 10.
Yeah, we were joking with him the other day about possibly becoming the first player to quarterback to get 1,000 yards rushing, and he said, you know, if I really get close to it, I might run a series of quarterback sneaks. Of course, in that situation, third and short, it's a short yardage situation. You call a quarterback sneak, but he was only kidding about it. But first down.
There is Troy Aikman. The word, a separated right shoulder. What a disappointing development for that young man who's had such a fine season in his second year with these resurging Cowboys. Thomas Sanders. Not much. Good response by Horton, Ray Horton, number 20, coming up from the safety position to make the hit.
It's really difficult to sweep a great defensive team, Tim, because you have such good flow from the linebackers and the secondary. This time Horton comes up from the safety position and made the tackle there because he was the forced man on that wide play. But the Cowboys have played that way all year long on defense. And really starting midway through last season, their defense started to come along, and they're a pretty respectable defensive football team.
Second down and sacked at the 20-yard line. Cunningham by Del Rio. Jack Del Rio with a clean shot on Cunningham.
Well, it's really a well-timed play by Jack Del Rio, number 55, coming off the left corner here. You'll see him on a delayed blitz. Comes upfield. Cunningham can't find anybody open, primarily because number 96, Danny Stubbs, put his hands up and sort of blocked his view. That allowed Del Rio just an extra count to get there. Key play, both by Stubbs and Del Rio, sacking Cunningham.
Francis and Williams come into the secondary for the Cowboys on this third and long. A flag down. Cunningham, he's got a man wide open. That is Kenny Jackson. Touchdown, but flags all down at the line of scrimmage. That'll be called back.
Tim, that's really a heads-up play. No matter what this penalty is going to be, whether it's against the Eagles or the Cowboys, if you sense you have a shot at a free play, take it, run the ball in the end zone, let the officials in sort everything out to find out what happened. Looked like the Eagles jumped prematurely. No question about it. The offensive line, almost the entire offensive line, Alexander, Solt, and Shad, moved before the snap.
Well, we didn't hear the announcement from the referee, Gordon McCarter, but the ball is now third down at the 24-yard line during the illegal procedure. Cunningham dancing in the pocket now finds Byers. Byers gets inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by about 2. A 10-yard gain. And the crowd wanting to go for it. Buddy Ryan sends on the field goal unit. Roger Ruzick, he missed from 47 yards back in the first quarter, will have an easier attempt here. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. A 29-yard field goal try for Ruzick. And it is good. So the Eagles widen their lead. It is 10-3 Philadelphia.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Not too bad, Irv, for that tough guy. What's he got on here?
Who knows? He sings like he plays football. Kind of rough, huh? Sean Hawkins. Yeah, Sean Hawkins taped on his head, and I'll find out the story why. But Andre Waters.
Well, there's the guy who's He's got quite a reputation around the league and has picked up more than his share of penalties and created a lot of animosity here and there. But a man who off the field is involved in all kinds of community activities that he tries to keep to himself. But because all the heat he got for his work on the field, suddenly the PR effort was there to say, hey, this isn't really such a bad guy after all, and indeed he isn't. Dixon, Wright, Shepard, the deep men for the Dallas Cowboys. Bruzik's kickoff is high and short. Shepard from the 15. And he is dropped at the 32-yard line by Ken Rose, number 55. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Very balmy temperatures here in the east. The rain has stopped. The Eagles lead at 10-3 on the field goal by Bruzik from 29 yards out. 7:25 remaining second quarter here in this all-important game for the Cowboys and nearly as important for the Eagles, who are playing for the home field advantage in the playoffs. They're in. The Cowboys want to join them in the playoffs. A victory here today would do that, and they trail by only a touchdown. Babe Laufenberg for the injured Troy Aikman. Incomplete. Dropped by Novacek with coverage from Seth Joyner.
Very seldom see that. Novacek's a very reliable receiver, and again, he's one of those players again that Coach Jimmy Johnson said, gee, I thought sure Jay Novacek could be in the Pro Bowl because he leads all tight ends in the league in receptions, having a great year for us, and you just very seldom see him drop a football like that.
54 catches coming into the game, and of course his former Phoenix teammate Rob Awalt has really given them a nice combination when they use two tight ends, but Awalt out with a back injury today. 2nd and 10. Eagles have had the ball 12:26 to 9:58 for Dallas to this point in the game. Laufenberg up the middle for Emmitt Smith. First down, Dallas. Near the 40-yard line of the Eagles. Well, they got Smith isolated on the linebacker Small. That's the mismatch you want. 26 yards.
Jesse Small on the outside, Tim, is responsible for trying to pick up Smith coming out of the end zone. But Babe Laufenberg does a great job reading this coverage. Watch, he'll look outside. He wants to go to the corner and realize he can't get there. Now here comes number 22 checking out of the backfield, and he's locked up one-on-one on number 52, Jesse Small. That's a mismatch. Comes up with a big completion. I mean, Laufenberg has been very impressive, Tim, coming off the bench at short notice and moving this Dallas offense.
He has a first down, Dallas. Emmitt Smith near the 15-yard line, breaking out of traffic with those amazing feet and that terrific strength. A 13-yard pickup. Joyner finally got him.
Tim, when you ask Emmitt Smith how he makes runs like this, he'll tell you, I don't know. But he's a great instinctive runner. One thing he has right off the top of the bat is speed, strength, breaks tackles, and great vision. He has the ability to be able to see tunnels and gaps in the defense. Here he slides outside, making a key run for the Cowboys before being run down by Seth Joyner.
Terrific piece of running by Smith.
You see him in the hole as he slides. He sees the opening, he slides and finds daylight, moving upfield at the same time.
First down at the 18-yard line. Laufenberg pumps once and now lobs it for Novacek. He's got it. Only got about 2 yards on the play before stepping out of bounds.
Only got the 2 yards, Tim, but Jay Novacek has to feel pretty good about that. It was a tough catch to make. He went up and got the ball. Again, making the kind of a catch he's been making all year for the Cowboys. But again, Novacek is tied up with linebacker here, number Jesse Small. Small can't quite get there. He just lofts it over his head. You know, the Cowboys did a lot. And they get in here inside the 20-yard line. They like to loft the ball up and let their receivers adjust to the ball and get up and catch it. So you're liable to see something like that, a rainbow-type pass deep in the end zone.
Particularly for Irvin, the taller receiver who can jump. Laufenberg instead goes up the middle, picked off by Frizzell. He's ruled down back at the 22-yard line. And the Eagles fans unhappy with that because it looked like he had not been stopped. Certainly wasn't down. And Frizzell broke loose. He was headed to the end zone.
Laufenberg this time trying to go to Novacek one more time. 84 inside, but the Eagles are doubled. Both safeties are collapsing on him. Frizzell comes across from one side, picks it off. Now, was he down or not when he's hit by the Cowboy defense? He's on his feet here. Spins. Knee hit the
there's
ground.
his knee down. Right, indeed. Tim Ryan across in Philadelphia, 10-3 Eagles lead. The interception by Frizzell. He was indeed down. His knee hit the ground. He popped back up, but the officials making an excellent call. Spotted him down, having been tackled by a Cowboy at the 27. First down, Philadelphia. Cunningham's pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Tony Tolbert, the rookie defensive end, number 92. The second-year defensive end from Texas El Paso. Well, there's more football ahead today. The NFL on CBS continues with Game 2 of our doubleheader. Some of you will see New Orleans at San Francisco. Others will watch the Giants out at Phoenix. That's next here on CBS. 49ers and Giants already in the playoffs. New Orleans not quite dead yet. Stay alive. Sherman.
Hey, Tim, one of the guys who's been most impressive with that Cowboy defensive front four has been Danny Noonan, number 73. He's been a big, strong guy out of Nebraska when he came to the Cowboys as the #1 pick a few years ago in '87. They had great expectations for him, but he played sort of a soft reading type defense. Now he's gotten to the point where he's playing a very aggressive type charge up there and creating a lot of havoc on the running down.
He's got the passing defenders in there now on 3rd and long. Cunningham lofts it up, and it is too far for Kenny Jackson, the intended receiver, number 83. So the Cowboys do the job defensively. Philadelphia will punt. But the Eagles stopping the drive of the Cowboys with a pickoff by Frizzell. Buddy Ryan calls him Lefty, the country singer.
Do you think he knows anybody's real name?
Jeff Fiegel's punt, not a good one. Derek Shepard fields it at the 34-yard line, now goes backwards. And they're going to spot it back inside the 25. Well, join us to watch beautiful and talented Katarina Witt on Olympic Winterfest. Countdown to Albertville, Christmas Day, 3 o'clock Eastern. CBS Sports unwraps our Olympic Winterfest series, showcasing many of the world's premier winter sporting events. Tim McCarver and Paul Azan will host. You'll see the U.S. Open Professional Figure Skating Championships and a report on the hockey series between the U.S. and the USSR. Troy Aikman watching from the sidelines with a separated shoulder as the veteran backup Dave Laufenberg continues. Play action on first down, out to Novacek. Terry Hogue ties him up after a gain of about 3.
Novacek seems to be Babe Laufenberg's primary target. Both Novacek and Awald, who's out today with an injury, another tight end for the Cowboys. So they like this system because the system does feature a lot of routes featuring the tight end. And a lot of systems in vast offenses, the tight end is sort of an alternate receiver. Once you look outside, then you go to him. But they have an awful lot of patterns drawn up specifically in the Dallas system for the tight end. And right now, Novacek seems to be the guy they're featuring.
Credit a 4-yard gain to Novacek. 2nd and 6. 10-3. Second period at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Eagles on top. Good time for Laufenberg. Try to go to Novacek again. He was well covered by Jesse Small, number 52. Laufenberg had good protection on the play, but the Eagles had good coverage.
Always starts up front, and right now it starts over the center with the center Stepnoski blocking on Reggie White. Stepnoski was a guard out of Pitt, tough kid, and they moved him inside at center. He's done an excellent job there, and Jimmy Johnson thinks that he's the leader of that offensive line and really brought those guys together. Reggie White, one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, was handled that time by Stepnoski.
Well, they moved that Reggie White, of course, sometimes inside, right over the center, and that's where he is again on 3rd down and 6. Novacek has the first down, Dallas, and drags Frizzell for an extra 5 yards. 16-yard gain for Jay Novacek.
It's really apparent, Tim, the difference between a Cowboy offense run by Troy Aikman and one run by Babe Laufenberg is that Laufenberg likes to go to the tight end. Novacek has been his primary target in practically every pass he's thrown. Aikman likes to go outside to his wide receivers, but you have to believe that with Michael Irvin and Kelvin Martin sitting out there, and Irvin particularly, who's a big play guy from this spot in the field, start to draw some action from Laufenberg.
First down at the 45-yard line of Dallas. Laufenberg throws this one away as he started to get pressure in the pocket. General direction again of Novacek, this time deep down the sideline. Buffalo on top of Miami 7-0. Big game in the AFC East. Pittsburgh beating up on the hapless Browns 28-0. 4 touchdown passes for Bubby Brister. It is 2nd and 10 here for the Cowboys. Laufenberg now 10 of 18, 119 yards passing. Ten to 3 Eagles lead in the second quarter. Laufenberg intended for Novacek again, and he slipped on the turf, covered by Small, the linebacker.
He slipped, assisted by number 52, Jesse Small. That's a legal play, though. The linebacker can jam that tight end at the line of scrimmage, and Small did that, kept good inside position. And as Novacek tried to break outside, he slipped on the turf and wound up throwing an incomplete pass. But again, Novacek is a primary receiver with Laufenberg as the quarterback.
Dick Chapura is in at right defensive end for Clyde Simmons. Eagles with a number of guys playing with minor injuries, so Chapura giving Simmons, who's one of those hurt players, a little relief. 3rd down and 10. Crowd wants the Eagles to stop the Cowboys right now. The pass intended for Irvin, incomplete. Eric Allen on the coverage. Irvin going to the post, but Laufenberg didn't deliver. 4th down.
I tell you, Eric Allen on the corner, Tim, has Irvin all the way man-to-man. It runs a good post pattern. The ball just wasn't thrown very well. Has he thrown that ball properly, the Cowboys would come up with a big play, but they had good coverage on the outside with the safety coming in to help, but that ball was thrown just a little wide.
Rod Harris back to receive the punt from Saxon. Good kick. And Harris lets that one bounce, and it just goes into the end zone. 3 Cowboys in pursuit. 55-yard punt by Mike Saxon. Well, coming up at halftime, Greg and Terry will sort out all of these playoff situations, scores and highlights from all of the early activity this afternoon. Doubleheader action ahead today on CBS Sports. Eagles from their 20-yard line, first down, and a 10-3 lead. From the shotgun on first down, Calvin Williams, a gain of about 13. Time counting down to the 2-minute warning, and the Eagles go into the hurry-up. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. We'll be back at Veterans Stadium in a moment.
Hi, I'm Bill Bates of the Dallas Cowboys. This is my beautiful wife, Denise, and our triplets, Hunter, Brianna, and Graham.
From all of us, happy holidays.
Instant family for the Bateses.
Triplets is expecting another one, too. You know, he's got another one on the way, but, you know, he wants to be a player coach one day in pro football. He'd make a great coach because he's a real student of the game. And he also wants to do what John Brody did and go into the pro seniors golf circuit. He's a pretty good golfer.
First down Eagles from their own 34-yard line. 2 minutes to go, first half. They lead by 7. Cunningham, the ball is knocked down. No, they're calling it a fumble. Picked up by Bates inside the 10. Cunningham thought he had an incompleted pass. Blocked, knocked down by a defender. The official saw it otherwise. Jimmy Jones had the charge on him. the rookie from Miami.
Well, what an unusual reaction by Cunningham. He played that like the ball had slipped out of his hand. Let's take a look at it again. A long snap back to Randall. And does somebody hit his hand or not? He throws the ball. Now, it hit his own lineman, number 79. Mike Shadd hit Shadd on the back. The ball came out of his hand, so that would be ruled as a fumble, not an incomplete pass, because it was knocked out of his hand while he had the ball in his hand. Take a look at it again. You'll see that he hits Shadd's back. Cunningham back there, flags the ball. Now, had it dropped out of there? No, it just dropped out of his hand. I blew it. It just dropped out of it slipped out of his hand. You see, it just slips. From here, it looks like it hit Shadd's back, but I think it just slipped out of his hand and then hit Shadd's back.
Now, the other angle showed that it didn't hit anybody.
Yeah, it slipped out of his hand and then it hit Shadd's back and came back, but it slipped out of his hand first. So he thought it was
but his reaction, he felt it was going to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, incomplete.
That he had thrown the ball forward. Gordon McCarter's microphone is not functioning.
They rule what we talked about. Yeah, it's an incomplete pass. The ball slipped out of his hand. He flagged it, and it slid out of his hand. There was a reversal of the call on the field. The officials thought the ball had hit somebody. And that's easy to do, though, Tim, because he had Shadd in front of him. And if you're an official behind Shadd, on the other side of Shadd, and having Shadd between you and Cunningham, you would think the ball had been batted out of Cunningham's hand, because it looked like that when we first saw him on the replay. But it really did slip out of his hand. And then
Jimmy Johnson, as you can see, is furious at the call.
Well, he had a different angle. He had the angle where he had to see through Shadd's back.
So it is still Eagle ball, 2nd and 10. Now, Cunningham reacted in the way that the replay official, Chuck Heberling, eventually called it. And that was that he had a forward motion with his hand. The ball dropped out, and that was an incompleted pass. The question would have been, was it a fumble because he dropped the ball, or because going forward with the ball, it's an incompleted pass? And that's the way the replay official Heberling saw it.
It would not have been a fumble because his arm did come forward.
Number 30, timeout. There's a charge timeout for 2.
Well, again, a charge timeout called against the Cowboys, and intermittent problems with that microphone. We're not able to hear too well. We'll be right back.
Well, you know what? He's doing this and drops it. Is that a fumble?
Johnson is still in anguish over this development. He thought it should be an Eagles fumble. Then he has a timeout that I don't believe Johnson had intended to call here. And through the microphone that we're hearing intermittently from Gordon McCarter, the referee, it sounded like Isaac Holt, I thought he said number 30, had called a timeout. So the Cowboys are unhappy in every department. It is 2nd and 10 in Philadelphia. Cunningham for Sherman, made the catch and rolls for a couple, pinned there by Bates. It'll be 3rd and 2, 1:38 and counting down, first half.
Rich Kotite told us the other day, Tim, that Joe Montana and Randall Cunningham run the 2-minute situation better than anybody in football.
That's complete to Barnett, who makes a nice move, has a first down, and out of bounds in Dallas territory.
And one of the basic reasons for it is that he has the ability to have everybody else around him raise their level of play, because he relaxes everybody during that 2-minute period. Nothing seems to shake him. Even that play where there's a question about whether it was a fumble or an incomplete pass, he didn't seem to be too concerned about it.
No.
He didn't. He just walked out the field.
It's as though he just has his own game going on out there. He is totally relaxed at all times. First down, Eagles, 48 of Dallas. This time he is in the grass, although he got the ball off. That'll be a sack for Dallas. Back at the 40 of Philadelphia, Jesse Solomon, the man who predicted victory here today for the Cowboys, comes up with a sack.
He went a step farther than that. He guaranteed a victory for the Cowboys. Jesse Solomon on this defense comes in as a spy man. They'll have 5 defensive backs in the field, and Solomon will come in as a pass defender and play right in the middle linebacker position. All he has to do is eyeball Randall Cunningham. Wherever Cunningham goes, he goes. So that time he came upfield and wound up with a sack.
Also a penalty against the Eagles on the play.
Personal foul, tipping. Number 79, offense, penalty refused, 2nd down.
Mike Shadd charged with the tripping penalty, and the Cowboys turned that down as they had the sack, dropping the Eagles back to the 40-yard line. Bears now on top of Tampa Bay as an irate Jimmy Johnson really steaming on that sideline. 1:17 to play. Still Eagles ball. Cunningham flushed. Gets it to Calvin Williams. To the 30 to the 41-yard line of the Cowboys out of bounds. Clock stops with 1:09 to go. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. An 18-yard pass play.
Calvin Williams, number 89, split out down to the short side of the field, goes inside and then kind of runs a curl pattern here and then breaks back inside outside once he realized Cunningham was in trouble. Their basic rule is when Cunningham starts a roll, go outside with him, give him a target. Does that, comes up with a big catch.
And it is 3rd down and 5 as they roll him out of bounds a little more upfield than we thought. So they need 5 for the 1st down. And they're resetting the clock. Cunningham now 9 out of 15, 99 yards. 25-second clock has been reset to the full 25. Cunningham sideline. He's got his man. Williams again. 1st down, Eagles.
Well, I tell you, Isaac Holt in the left corner for the Dallas Cowboys is an experienced defensive back, and he did what I thought was really a cardinal sin. You've got a situation where you have to stop your opponent. You want to play reasonably safe during this time, give him the short stuff, not the long stuff, but you don't want to give him 1st downs. Holt was so far off on his coverage that time. Calvin Williams walked off the field for 5 yards, and he was still 4 or 5 yards off of him.
Williams has now caught 5 passes. Cunningham fumbles the snap but recovers and goes deep for Williams. Diving try, incomplete. Again, the casual Randall Cunningham drops the snap and nearly turns it into a touchdown pass.
Well, he's really an amazing athlete, Tim. He has great reactions and tremendous composure. Here again, the wet ball with those gloves. You have leather gloves, which are probably wet. Slips right through there. This time with a bare hand, gets the ball up there, and Calvin Williams almost comes up with a big catch. But this time, Isaac Holt is in good position. Get that inside arm up, Isaac. Bring that thing down.
2nd and 10. Cowboys 35. 58 seconds left. Sherman inside. He's got running room. Loose ball. Cowboys have it. Sherman coughs it up. Dallas takes over at their 25-yard line. Ron Francis, number 38, recovers for Dallas. And the ball stripped away by Horton.
Eagles had a lot going for him here, Tim. Well blocked. Number 41, Keith Byers, is a good block upfield. And Sherman comes upfield, but the ball is hit from behind by Ray Horton. And Horton does a really smart thing here. Once he hit him, he kind of got his arm between under Sherman's arm and punched that ball out of there, forcing the fumble.
Well, you can see last year the Eagles, hot in that category, have not had the same results this year in turnovers. This time they cough it up to the Cowboys and give Dallas a shot here with 48 seconds left, trailing only by a touchdown. Laufenberg's sideline incomplete. Intended for Alexander Wright, the rookie speedster from Auburn. 44 seconds left.
The situation, Tim, where you need a quarterback with a real cannon to move this thing for you, because sideline patterns, even if they're going to be 10 or 12-yard patterns, upfield is going to be like twice that distance to throw the ball across field and to make those completions. And Laufenberg, who's a real good technician, doesn't quite have that kind of arm strength. So the Cowboys are going to have to kind of pick and peck their way upfield. And again, it'll probably be Gene Novacek, the guy who will hit.
10 of 22 now, Laufenberg, been struggling the last couple of series. Get some time intended for Novacek off the mark. 40 seconds remain in the first half at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross, where the Dallas Cowboys early in the first quarter lost their quarterback Troy Aikman to an injury. He's out with a separated shoulder. The Philadelphia Eagles lead it 10-3. A Byers to Williams pass and a field goal by Roger Ruzek. And the only score for Dallas, a 46-yard field goal by Willis. Laufenberg is now only 1 of 10. His last 10 passes. 1 completion. Third down. In trouble and sacked at the 20. Seth Joyner, number 59. And Mike Golick, number 90.
Really a heads-up play by the backside of the Eagles defense, Tim. Seth Joyner coming on a blitz. Nailed Laufenberg right in his steps.
Timeout on the field. We'll be back. Back here at Veterans Stadium, where the Cowboys will have to punt. Saxon standing at his 6-yard line. And with 37 seconds left, the Eagles are going to get another crack at the Dallas end zone. Harris back to receive. Good kick again by Saxon, driving Harris back to the 32. Breaks 1 tackle, still going. And the former Cowboy gets up to the 46-yard line of the Eagles.
This is really a heads-up part on Harris's part, Tim. What the Eagles like to do is have the return men pick a spot. They don't have a right or left or middle return. He has to pick up those blockers as he goes upfield, so they let him use his natural open field running ability. Does a pretty good job here with an excellent return for the Eagles.
Eagles have been unhappy with special teams play, and last week he reeled off a 30-yard return in his first game against Green Bay. Good one here. 23 seconds left at the 45 of Philadelphia. Cunningham runs out of time. He is sacked. Third Dallas sack of Randall Cunningham. Daniel Stubbs, first man in, number 96.
Boy, what an impressive pass rush. Of course, Stubbs came in from San Francisco in a trade from the 49ers this year because he said he wanted to leave San Francisco to go to a team where he could play more. And boy, what an impact he's made on this Cowboy team.
Down to 12 seconds remaining. The Eagles take a timeout. Jimmy Johnson frustrated here, but happy at that defensive effort by his team, sacking Randall Cunningham back at the 34-yard line. Eagles continue to lead 10-3. 12 seconds left in the first half. Thomas Sanders. Good blocking, good run. Back near a first down at the Dallas 45-yard line. 4 seconds left. Meanwhile, a scuffle on the sidelines. Jim Jeffcoat restrained by 3 Eagles. Heller and Shad among them. Not sure who Jeffcoat's trying to get at, but the officials in there that separate things.
My guess is Heller has a lot to say about that argument. Jeffcoat was lined up on Heller at the line of scrimmage. And that argument probably started when the ball snapped and finished up way on the sideline in front of the Eagles bench. Jeffcoat's coming in this game with a broken hand, a broken finger in his right hand. Has a cast on. He hasn't been able to use his hands as much as he would like. But he's really an exceptional defensive lineman and a good pass rusher. And today, he and Heller, who've gone against each other quite a bit, are having heated words.
Well, they finally bring the marker up, and it's going to be just short of a first down. A 21-yard gain. Leaves a third and about a foot. 4 seconds to go, so all of that is moot. They'll just chuck it up here and see what happens. 3 receivers out to the right. Williams, Byers, Jackson. Keith Jackson, that is. And they go to the left side. And the ball knocked away by the Dallas defenders. Looked like Robert Williams, number 23. So that's the end of the first half. With the score, the Philadelphia Eagles 10 and the Dallas Cowboys 3, as tempers are frayed. Our coverage will continue after this word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. HBO, simply the best. And by Tots, the premium choice. Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Kodak Gold Film, show your true colors. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
Well, welcome back to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the rain has started again. It is 10-3. The Eagles leading the Cowboys 10-3. The only score, major score of that first half, the touchdown pass from Keith Byers, and Irv Cross of Byers, 4 for 4 in this department. He's thrown 4 passes, all of them for touchdowns this year.
Yeah, but the other 3 were to the left because he's left-handed. This one's on the right side, Tim. He runs the sweep to the right side, and the cornerback bites on it. And Eagles come up with a big play. Now, it's very important for him, obviously, to score early and quickly, because his Cowboy team, as the game progresses, is gaining momentum.
Well, being down only a touchdown, of course, they have to be very confident that they can make something happen here in the second half. The problem is they're without Troy Aikman, who was injured back in the first quarter, out with a separated shoulder.
Well, of course, another key injury for the Cowboys. Ken Norton, their fine young outside linebacker, went down with an ankle injury, so they're hobbled coming in here for the second half.
Now, I'm sure the question has been raised back in the Dallas area, what happens if Babe Laufenberg goes down? He is the only other quarterback in uniform today. Jane Novacek, the tight end, would be the emergency quarterback. And in a worst-case scenario for them, they would snap the ball directly to Emmitt Smith. Just let him make things happen from that role. And meanwhile, on the opening kickoff, Rod Harris brings it all the way over midfield into Dallas territory. The former Dallas Cowboy rubbing it into his old mates. 44-yard return.
Really an impressive kick return, Tim. The Cowboys on the kickoff team really don't get the ball down very deep. This is inside the 10-yard line, around a 9-yard line, where Harris picks this ball up, gets a good wall of blockers on the near sideline. Here just making a good individual move before he's finally brought down by Willis. But, you know, Harris is really pumped up, obviously, because he's playing against his ex-teammates. And a pretty good return, third quarter.
Second-year man from Texas A&M. Had been injured in Dallas. They didn't really want to lose him. On first down, Anthony Toney gets about a yard for the Eagles to the 46-yard line of Dallas. Well, in that first half, the Eagles out rushing the Cowboys 100-38, and about even in passing yardage.
Well, a big key there again, though, the Cowboys want to establish something on the ground. They have a great back in Emmitt Smith. He wasn't able to do it in the first half, but again, the Eagle defense is the best in the league against the run.
And that one turnover by the Cowboys is when they were driving, and Laufenberg intercepted by Ozell near the goal line. Flags everywhere. The Eagles look like they moved early. On 2nd and 9.
Full start. Number 61, offense. 5 yards, still second round.
Ron Singletary, evidently, no, Ben Tamburello, number 61. And again, we apologize for the quality of the microphone worn by referee Gordon McCarter. Been a problem throughout the game. Tamburello getting some time at left guard for Mike Shadd. Shadd has a dislocated toe that he's recovering from. Tamburello has been filling in for him some the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's second down and 14 from the 49-yard line of Philadelphia, just underway in the second half. Toney, not much. Back near the original line of scrimmage. Lockhart and Del Rio wrap him up there.
Tim, one of the key matchups in this game is going to be left end Daniel Stubbs of the Dallas Cowboys against Reggie Singletary, number 68. And watch him work here. 68 Singletary told me one thing he has to do against Stubbs is keep his hands off of him. You know, keep him away. does a pretty good job of shielding him off there on that particular pass protection. But Stubbs is an outstanding pass rusher, and Singletary's job is to try to keep him off his body.
So third down and about 10, maybe closer to 11. Cunningham runs out of time, and he is hit. The ball is loose. Picked up by Tony, and he's dropped back inside the 30. Jesse Solomon drops Tony back there. Tolbert among those who had the initial pressure with Jones and Stubbs on Cunningham. A good defensive effort by Dallas.
Stubbs again, number 94, working against Reggie Singletary. Was the first man to show. He's got a lot of time here, but then the protection breaks down. Stubbs shows right away, makes a hit, and forces the ball out of there before Sherman can finally pick it up, for Tony to finally pick it up for the Eagles.
So Fiegels hits from the 20-yard line, a good kick. Taken by Derek Shepard, gets away from Kenny Jackson, and out to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, where he's hit by Chapura. And Dallas will have the ball for the first time. Now remember, the Cowboys, if they can win this game today, would be in the playoffs. That is their goal, obviously. They can also get some help with a loss and still make it in, or a victory next week. Laufenberg, 10 of 23 in the first half, 119 yards after coming in to relieve the injured Troy Aikman. Cunningham, 10 of 18 in the first half. First down, Dallas at the 29-yard line after a good defensive series for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith gets a couple. Seth Joyner on the stop.
Seeing a different tone here already, Tim. The Cowboys opened the game with thinking pass early, even though they want to establish a run. Now in the third quarter, they open the series with the running play. They want to get Emmitt Smith going, and he's the key, obviously, for them today. If he can get rolling on the running game, that opens up an entire Cowboy offense.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Nearly picked up, and now a flag down after the ball was released. Intended for Smith. Byron Evans had the coverage out there, and Ben Smith may be charged with roughing the passer.
Yeah, you had the two Smiths involved in this play. Emmitt Smith with a Dallas Cowboy going out as the intended receiver. Ball overthrown after he had fallen, and then Ben Smith committing a foul for the Eagles.
Foul, roughing the passer, number 26 defense, ball in the head. 15, first down.
Well, that's a silly penalty for this youngster to take, and he's been involved in a few of those this year.
Well, it is, particularly when he has so much time and so much room to ease up. You know, he left his feet. The ball was thrown really. He's about 2 or 3 strides away from Laufenberg when he continued after him. He could very well have avoided him, didn't, picked up a costly penalty.
So it's first down, Dallas at their own 46. Smith stopped by Jerome Brown after a gain of 2 or 3. Brown gets up with an injury of some kind. Takes himself out there for attention, looks like to his left hand. Houston and Cincinnati locked in a struggle there, 20-13, but Pittsburgh winning handily over Cleveland.
Brown's had some problems off and on during the course of the year, Tim, with shoulder problems and knee problems, and now they're working on his hand there. And as a matter of fact, the first time they played the Cowboys, they felt that he was really hampered by some shoulder and arm injuries.
2nd and 8 for the Cowboys. Laufenberg pumps once, and then it's hit as he tried to release it on his second move intended for Irvin, but he is dropped by Simmons and Joyner just as he got the ball away.
One thing he can't do against the Eagle defense, Tim, is pump and set up a second time, because the front four really comes after you. Buddy Ryan feels that pass rushing starts with the defensive line. You don't get it with linebackers or deep backs. You get it with down linemen. That time, number 96, Clyde Simmons, is the man who came in and did most of the damage to Laufenberg.
And the Eagles have Pitts in there with Simmons and White and company, trying to give Mike Pitts as much playing time as they can today, working him back in after his injury that has had him out much of the season. Laufenberg, and that one just too short, intended for Irvin. Not a good throw by the Babe. And the Cowboys will have to punt. 10:48 to go here in the third quarter. Still just a 7-point margin. Saxon to punt to Harris.
Get a funny feeling for the pace of this game, though, Tim. It started out at such a high pitch, and since the middle of the second quarter on, the things seem to kind of slow down. You sense that?
Well, yes, and I think Aikman being out of there has a lot to do with that, but it's turned into a defensive struggle. Saxon will run it, and he's got the first down. A daring move by the Cowboys, and it pays off with a first down in Eagles territory to the 32-yard line.
Really a gutsy call and a heads-up play by Mike Saxon. It was a run all the way. He faked punt and saw it was well blocked up front. You can see he has a couple of key blocks up there, and Saxon scoots all the way upfield for the first down. Really a big play again for the Cowboys. See, it's well blocked up front. It's run all the way, no question about it. Gets a pretty good block outside. Looks like number 40, Bill Bates, with the key block, springing Mike Saxon for the first down.
From the 32, play action. Laufenberg gets it away, incomplete. Intended, I believe, for Novacek, but way off the mark. Some pressure from Joyner may have hurried Laufenberg into unloading a little sooner than he wanted.
Looks like the Eagles have decided they're going to cover Novacek pretty well, but Laufenberg, again, standing in the pocket, gets hit once he throws the ball. Seth Joyner is the man who does the damage. Throwing the ball high, trying to hit Novacek, overthrowing it.
Laufenberg 0 for 3 so far in this second half.
You still have to believe, Tim, they have to work outside. Calvin Martin and Michael Irvin have been taken out of this offense. Babe Laufenberg has to work those wide receivers.
For Irvin, incomplete. Allen had good coverage on him. The ball was short. Irvin had no chance.
Excellent coverage. Eric Allen, Pro Bowl player for the Eagles, didn't make it this year, but has been in the Pro Bowl for the Eagles and is a good single coverage guy. And of course, they picked up another guy on the other side, the left corner. Ben Smith, the rookie, is an excellent one-on-one man. So the Eagles corners do a great job in single coverage. They're pretty tough to beat.
Third down. Crowd getting into it here. Laufenberg calls a timeout, and we'll be back at Veterans Stadium with the Eagles on top 10-3. Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, an aroused Eagles crowd wanting their defense to stop Dallas on 3rd and 10 from the Eagles 32-yard line. For Kelvin Martin. Interception, no, yes. Ben Smith. Intended for Kelvin Martin, the second Eagles interception. Ben Smith came down with it.
This is really a heads-up play. Number 26, Ben Smith in the corner. Looks like it's 88, Michael Irvin, Tim, who's out there. And Irvin is a great receiver and going up for... No, you're right, 83 it is. Kelvin Martin is a great receiver and jumping for the ball. What the Cowboys like to do is loft that pass up there and let the receiver adjust to it and get after it. Now look at the heat that Babe Laufenberg is under. He throws that ball, but he can hardly step up because that pocket collapsed around him.
Eagles first down. Tony gets about 3 to the 23-yard line. So Ben Smith, who had picked up a costly penalty for roughing the passer, made up for it there. And that's kind of what Buddy Ryan expects of these young guys. He doesn't really complain about them taking the penalty, certainly not publicly. And he just lets them continue to play, waiting for them to make a play like Smith did. On second down, out to Tony. Tony has the first down, Eagles, over the 30-yard line. And now for another NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, Soldier Field in Chicago. Mike Tomczak has thrown his second touchdown pass of the day. 12 yards to James Thornton. 21-7 Bears. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, Tim.
Buccaneers playoff hopes fading with that score by the Bears, who are already in, but playing with their second-string quarterback, Mike Tomczak. Troy Aikman injured here in the first quarter for the Cowboys, and Laufenberger's been struggling. Eagles first down at their own 31. Tony, as a flag flies, gets a couple in the middle. Holding signal against the Eagles on the play. Mike Shadd evidently charged with the holding. Well, more football ahead today. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS continues with game 2 of our doubleheader today. Some of you will see the New Orleans Saints clinging to a playoff hope, but a tough job ahead for them at San Francisco. And the Giants already in will be out at Phoenix. The Phoenix Cardinals, who had a nice little streak going, but then were dumped by Dallas last week. Cunningham a draw play this time. Thomas Sanders, and Sanders not too much, maybe 4 yards to the 25-yard line. It'll leave third and long for the Philadelphia Eagles. Buffalo has moved ahead of Miami 17-7. Frank Reich in the quarterback for the injured Kelly in that game, in a big one. Houston and Cincinnati have a real war going, and you just saw Chicago open their lead over Tampa Bay. Second down, about 18. Cowboys, big defensive play here. Trying to keep the Eagles pinned in, and they deliver there. Pass intended for Keith Jackson, and Bill Bates breaks it up. So it's third and long.
Yeah. It's really a heads-up play, Tim, with Bill Bates. He's done this any number of times. A very aggressive player. Done a good job on special teams. But the nickelback comes in and does a good job. But here's something that you'd be surprised to see, though. The Eagles are ranked lower in total defense than the Cowboys.
Well, I think that's escaped the minds of a lot of football fans. Long pass intended for Williams, and it's picked up. Robert Williams for the Cowboys is downed at the 25-yard line, but he makes the grab. The pass intended for Calvin Williams, taken away by Robert Williams.
Great interception, Tim. That was simply a sprint to the football. Calvin Williams just took off on a fly pattern, and Robert Williams sensed it right away and just simply outsprinted him to the ball.
We'll be right back to Philadelphia.
Here's a play just before we went into commercial. Robert Williams, the defensive back, decides to cut in front of Calvin Williams and take the ball away. He becomes the receiver. It's really a great move on his part as the defensive back. Forget about the receiver. Go to the football. Took his route. Came up with a key interception.
So the Cowboys first down at their 25, down by 7. Emmitt Smith does not have much running room today. And with a good second effort there, winds up with a 5, maybe 6-yard gain. Now, Randall Cunningham had a lot of time to throw the ball in that play. Thought he had it to Calvin Williams, and instead it was another Williams, and that does not make Randall happy. Wrong Williams.
Wrong Williams. Williams to Williams. This Williams is wearing a white shirt. Yeah. But again, Robert Williams made a great reaction to the ball, though. Once he realized it was a deep fly pattern, he simply left the receiver and ran to the football. Great reaction.
Emmitt Smith turned that into a 6-yard gain with a second effort. It's 2nd and 4. Smith trying to get to the marker was stopped short by a little bit. It'll be close. Should leave third and less than a yard for the Cowboys. Who would have believed a 1-15 team a year ago, second year under Jimmy Johnson, the new regime in Dallas. Here they are, evidently headed to the playoffs. A victory today would absolutely ensure it, but looks like they might get there anyway, even with a loss today. But a long way to go in this game, and nothing being surrendered. White made the tackle, 3rd and a half yard. Smith, the ball is loose. Eagles say they have it on this slippery turf. The officials say Dallas has it. It is Dallas ball.
Really a terrific action by middle linebacker Byron Evans, though. When the ball is tossed out to Smith, but take a look at number 56. He's trailing this thing all the way. He's going to meet Smith right in the hole, and when he hits him, punches that ball out with his free hand. It's a free ball. Looked as though the Eagles had a chance to recover it, but the Cowboys come up with a key turnover, key recovery.
So frequently, an Eagle trying to pick the ball up there instead of just diving on it like Calvin Williams did back in the first half.
That's rule number 1. Simply recover the ball first.
So the Cowboys stay alive and have a first down at the 37. Laufenberg intended for Irvin, incomplete. Out of bounds. Ben Smith and Irvin, had the catch been made, it would have been out of bounds.
There's been an awful lot of bumping going on down there, too. Whether you call offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference, I don't know, but those two guys really locked into one another. But with Michael Irvin, he has great jumping ability, and he believes that his role in the Cowboy offense is to make big plays. And he lives for that moment. And he's getting up the field in a game like this. It's so tight that one key play by Michael Irvin or Kelvin Martin can put Dallas right back in this thing in a hurry.
Well, they got to get the ball to these guys. Laufenberg is now 0 for 11. His last 11 passes without a completion. 0 for 6 in this second half. Emmitt Smith. He gains about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. Seth Joyner made the tackle there. Laufenberg, who has been around the league, San Diego, Washington, in his career as a backup quarterback. Terrific guy, good for morale. Troy Aikman told us yesterday he's been a lot of help to him as an experienced guy, spotting things and so on. But the fact is, Laufenberg has never been a starter except in stressful situations and has not played a lot as a backup. Even though he's been on teams, he hasn't seen a lot of action.
But he's been a real student of the game, Tim. He's very knowledgeable. He'll go into a game and not make any mental errors at all. Problem today is his arm isn't strong enough to get outside those wide receivers.
Lots of time this time, and it is nearly picked off by Frizzell. The ball was right to number 33, nowhere near the intended receiver, Agee.
It looked like that ball just sailed out of his hand. It looked like almost like a slip. It's one of those passes I could bring back. You see it kind of flutter out there, and on the tail end of the ball, and kind of zipped up in the air, and Frizzell had a freebie and dropped it.
So the Cowboys will have to punt. Saxon from his 25. Harris waiting for it at the Eagles 20 is driven back, and the ball bounces inside the 10. And the Cowboys down it right at the 1-foot line. That is Michael Brooks, reserve defensive back, number 44.
Michael Brooks touches this ball here and recovers it for the Cowboys. Watch what he does, though. He has to keep both feet in the field of play, and is really, really close. 1 foot goes in the end zone, but then he comes back. When he comes back, he plants his right foot solidly parallel to the goal line and prevents the ball from going in. What a heads-up play.
59-yard punt it turns into. And it may be that the replay official is looking at that, although I don't think that comes under replay. But we are ready to resume action. And Gordon McCarter's microphone continues to be a problem for the fans here in the stadium and for our television viewers, the referee Gordon McCarter. So it is going to be Eagles ball from about the 6-inch line.
Don't be surprised to see the Eagles unlaunch a rocket here, Tim. They've done it before, backed up in their own end zone. They like to go deep.
Cunningham, 12 of 22. Gives it to Tony, and he gets out to about the 3-yard line. It has been an inelegant contest to this point. Defense is playing strongly on both sides of the ball, but a long way from the scoring margins of a week ago. 41-10. The Cowboys beat Phoenix 31-0. The Eagles beat Green Bay. But they're two solid defensive teams making this a different kind of game so far today. Byers, and he gets about 3, maybe 4 yards. It'll leave 3rd down out at the 6-yard line. James Washington had the coverage on him.
Well, I tell you, Tim, if the Cowboy defense can hold the Eagles here, they're going to get that ball inside the 50-yard line on the punt. So this is, again, one of a number of series of big plays for Dallas, but their defense so far has answered the call in most situations.
Cunningham from the end zone. Tony, and it looks like he's got a 1st down. Anthony Tony.
We get a chance to see what Cunningham's looking at, just looking behind him as he comes back and rolls slightly to his right. He wants to really go upfield to one of his wide receivers. Can't find anybody. And Tony comes through on a check down when he kind of sneaks through the line of scrimmage. And Bill Bates is the man responsible for him. Brings him down, but the Eagles come up with a big 1st down.
Tony off the left tackle. Gets about 3 yards. Met by Jack Del Rio. Has played a solid game all day long. And while the microphone has been a problem on the referee McCarter today, it is apparent that they did review that punt that was kept out of the end zone neatly by Brooks, and he did indeed reestablish himself at the goal line. Checking our instant replay notes on the rulings, they did indeed look at that and made the rule. Cunningham intended for Byers. The fans want an interference penalty against James Washington. None forthcoming. Byers still complaining.
You can see why the fans are complaining. Number 41, Keith Byers, is out to receive this pass. Now here comes the defender, 37 Watt. He's all over him, but apparently there wasn't any contact made. Well, there was contact made. It came right across his shoulder, but the officials probably ruled that was an uncatchable ball. It was so thrown so far away.
Leaves 3rd down and 4. Calvin Williams in motion. Cunningham goes to Williams. He has a 1st down. Trying for more. Finally, the Eagles pull him down. The Cowboys pull him down. Hendricks and Robert Williams.
Calvin Williams and Fred Barnard, the two rookie wide receivers for the Eagles, have come a long way, Tim, and they've made a lot of key plays during the course of the season. Williams is a stocky kind of a receiver, slightly under 6 feet tall, 182, 3 pounds or so, but strong enough to break tackles. You can see his reaction here as he comes upfield after making a catch. It takes 3 Cowboys to bring him down.
6 catches on the day for 76 yards. Calvin Williams. Nice fake by Cunningham, but he is buried anyway. Cowboy rush gets him back near the 15-yard line. 5 sacks today by Dallas.
5 sacks, Tim, and number 73, Danny Newland, the man we talked about before from Nebraska, was getting to the point where he's beginning to get a feel and sense of this Cowboy defense. The defensive coach has said, Danny, we want you to turn it loose. Go ahead and be aggressive. Now here, number 73, you can see working upfield, beats his lineman, and Cunningham really has no place to go. Good effort by Danny Noonan. Here he comes right now. You see, he has good leverage, so Cunningham can't roll outside of him. He's trying to roll, but he can't get outside of him because Noonan has good outside position.
Second down and very long back at the 15-yard line. Cunningham flushed again. And met heavily at the 30-yard line by Bill Bates. But check it, Isaac Holt, number 30.
Yeah, you have to wonder what Cunningham was thinking. He looked eyeball to eyeball with Holt and said, okay, I'm a quarterback and I weigh 203 pounds. You're only a defensive back 198. I'm going to run over you. That's what it looks like to me, that he was going to put his shoulder down and try to knock him down. Of course, it was a standoff, and Holt made the tackle right there.
It leaves 3rd and 9. The Eagles at their own 30-yard line now. And time winding down 3rd quarter. In fact, they won't get the play off. That is the end of the 3rd quarter at Veterans Stadium with the score: the Eagles 10, the Cowboys 3. Well, college basketball is underway, and next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, CBS Sports will present the intrastate rivalry between Kentucky and Louisville. Then at 3:30 Eastern, coverage of the NFL on CBS continues with the NFL Today, followed by Philadelphia at Phoenix next Saturday beginning at 1 Eastern here on CBS. And you can see by that shot that the rain is now coming down more heavily here in the second half. We're into the 4th quarter, just about to begin the final period.
What this
regulation time.
What this does, I think it kind of evens things up for the Cowboys. The Eagles' passing game will be affected drastically by this rain, and will help the Cowboys in the running game, I think.
And the Cowboys have played awfully well defensively with pressure like that. He gets it off to Byers, however, and Byers will wind up with about a 5-yard gain, but it'll be 4th down as Horton and Bates tie up the big halfback Keith Byers.
Boy, Bill Bates is playing an outstanding game today. Keith Byers is one of the most versatile, most productive all-purpose backs in all of pro football, but Bill Bates has been in his hip pocket all day.
So Fiegels, standing at his 20, will punt it for the Eagles. Not a good punt off the side of his foot, but it takes an Eagles bounce. Backing up Shepard. And it goes all the way to the 10-yard line. How about that? So we'll return to Veterans Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL. Well, there's a brave soul who hung that banner here at Veterans Stadium. Maybe it was Santa himself. I don't know who else would have the nerve. Veterans Stadium, a gangrene defense. Surprised they allowed that to happen. First down from the 10-yard line. Emmitt Smith plows his way for nearly 6. And that punt by Fiegels, it started out as a baddie, turned into a goodie. 55 yards down to the 10-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Emmitt Smith has improved that with what turns into about a 7-yard gain. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Eagles, and the National Football League is prohibited. So it's 2nd and a long 5. And a lot of early action there. Flags fly. Laufenberg came back without the ball. So the 5 yards gained by Smith goes back to the 10-yard line, or very near it, on the illegal procedure. Cincinnati and Houston continue their seesaw battle, 27-20. Houston can clinch a playoff spot with a victory there, and a loss by Seattle tonight against Denver. 2nd and 9. Laufenberg steps away from the pressure. A flag is down as Laufenberg is dropped at the 15-yard line by Joyner and Allen, and the penalty is against Dallas.
Holding, number 16 offense, 8th defense,
Holding the penalty against the Cowboys. We're at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. A rainy, warm day here and a defensive battle on the field. The Eagles lead it 10-3 in the fourth quarter. Troy Aikman went down to injury in the first period. Dave Laufenberg has struggled, but the Dallas defense has kept them in it. Laufenberg to Alexander Wright. They'll be short of the first down by about 4 yards. And Laufenberg now 1 of 13, his last 13.
The key here, though, is he got the ball away quickly, Tim. He's feeling a lot of pressure from the Eagle front four. This time he has time to deliver and step up in the pocket. Hits Alexander Wright on the sideline pattern. Wright is a guy who has blistering speed. If he can ever get him to the point where he can exercise that speed and have the Babe loft the deep one, he's the kind of a guy who can really hurt that Eagle defense.
First completion for Laufenberg, however, after 12 misses in a row. And they were misses, not drops. Little reverse here, and the Eagles waiting for it. Simmons buries Kelvin Martin at the 8.
Clyde Simmons played that reverse perfectly. As a defensive end, one of his primary responsibilities is to try to contain, keep everybody inside of him. When Flo went away, he stayed at home, came upfield, looked back inside, and lo and behold, the ball carrier came right back to him. Top flight play.
Rod Harris awaiting Saxon's punt. He'll kick it from the end zone. Not a good punt. A Cowboy bounce, bobbled by Harris. And Harris tackled at the 44-yard line by Vincent Smith. We'll be back in a moment. A 10-3 game at Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia on top, and of course Troy Aikman out with an injury, and Laufenberg has struggled to say the least. But Herb Cross, the Cowboys, despite the statistics working against them, are still in it. Only 7 points down. A big play by Emmitt Smith, a defensive play, whatever.
They're one play away, primarily because their defense is playing so well. They've had played top flight defense all season long, and today they've just been terrific.
Well, they get pressure on Cunningham there, and it's broken up, intended for Calvin Williams. Isaac Holt. And again, the Cowboy pass rush puts some heat on Randall Cunningham. Danny Stubbs has been in that backfield all day long today.
Well, Stubbs is real quick, Tim. He gets off the line so quickly. He's into the offensive tackle, and that's one of the things Reggie Singletary was telling me about. He's like a cat out there. Once the ball is snapped, he's into you so fast. So he's going to try like crazy today to try to keep him off of his body.
2nd and 10. Sanders, he's hit immediately by Jeffcoat. Loss on the play of a couple of yards.
You're talking about a Jim Jeffcoat playing with a cast on one hand. He's got a broken bone in his right hand and will come in on run situations and play that run real well. He's done that for years, and that time crashing inside made a key play.
Cowboys happy with the youngsters they have ready to step in and take over from these veterans. Tony Tolbert, the second-year man from Texas El Paso. Jimmy Jones, the rookie from Miami, at tackle. Way down in 12. Cunningham whoops out there, now takes off, but he is caught from behind. Good reaction. Tolbert is there, number 92, and Horton, the safety, number 20. And the Eagles will have to punt.
Well, I tell you, but the guy, Manny Hendricks, is the one who really caused Cunningham to alter his course. Here he rolls out of there, finds daylight upfield. Now watch number 45 make contact here, and all that does is make him be conscious of the fact that there are people around. Then the defense comes in and makes a stop.
Eagles has to chase the snap. Gets a good kick away. Shepard will let that one bounce, and it goes in for a touchback. Good effort by Fiegels. And we'll be back at Veterans Stadium in a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. Interstate Batteries now with over 180,000 dealers across the U.S. and Canada. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Well, season's greetings to all of you watching NFL football on CBS today. Tim Ryan with Irv Cross, and there's a man who does not have the Christmas spirit at the moment. Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys coach, his team down 10-3, have not been able to move the ball offensively since Troy Aikman went left with an injury. Their defense has played superlatively, and they only trail by 7. First down at their own 20, a 53-yard punt by Fiegels. Offenberg out the right side to Agee, and a gain of about 5.
Tim, I really believe if the Cowboys want to really get back in this game, they're only one play away from it. They have to get that ball to Emmitt Smith as much as they possibly can. And I think you can do that with obviously running the ball. You can do it with screens. You can do it with the draw plays. But let him handle the football and get up in a position where he can work one-on-one on some of those defenders and run for big yardage. I mean, he's the kind of back who could break a game wide open on just one play.
Well, the weather has improved somewhat again. It's been on and off rain showers since the opening kickoff. Right now, things are dry, except on the field itself. Offenberg quickly out to Smith, and it's incomplete. Did not have complete control. Made a nice effort to hold on, but was hit immediately by Terry Hogue, number 34.
Hogue was assigned one-on-one coverage on Smith coming out of the backfield. The Eagles had a blitz coverage going, and Hogue had the first back out that way. And as soon as Smith stepped up, he stepped up, and they met at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass, heads-up play.
Cowboys send Darrell Johnson, number 48, into the backfield on 3rd down. And 3 wide receivers, Wright, Martin, and Irvin. Play action, the pass picked off by Allen. Touchdown. Third interception of the day. Eric Allen had this all away, Irv.
His second interception of the year for him, Tim, though. He's in good position to cover this ball. First of all, he has a receiver under good coverage, Michael Irvin. He's facing the quarterback, comes up and takes that ball away. The ball wasn't really thrown that hard or that sharply, so it gave him plenty of time to come back and take it away. Excellent defensive coverage by Eric Allen.
35-yard return for the score, and the Eagles widen their lead. Ruzick for the point after. It is good. We'll be back at Veterans Stadium with the Eagles on top. 17-3. May have been a flag on the point after play. There was, and it's a tripping signal indicated against the Eagles. So they're going to have to do it over again.
Number 52 and the kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Fiegels frantically trying to get his special teams unit back on the field for a second try for the point after. Eric Allen, a 35-yard interception return for a touchdown. As soon as Laufenberg unleashed that ball in the direction of Irvin, Allen was breaking on it, Irv. He just had it picked all the way.
Now, see, what you can do if you're playing the corner there on the short side of the field is you can play the sideline. And the other place in the field, you have to go with the receiver step for step. But when you're on the sideline, you can let him go because he can't go that far. So Allen really was about 3 yards inside of Irvin when that ball arrived, picked it off.
Ruzick will try it from the 20-yard line now. Gets that one as well. And then some. Way up into the seats. So the Eagles now have a 17-3 lead here. 8:33 to go.
Take a look at that pass interception before we went into commercial. You can see why. Number 99, Jerome Brown, playing over the right guard, left guard 68, Crawford Kerr, gets pretty good pressure on the quarterback. Here he comes upfield, beats Kerr right away by getting inside of him, and Babe Laufenberg had to throw in a hurry. Really couldn't see where that ball was going, and the Eagles wound up with an interception.
3 interceptions of Laufenberg today since he came in to replace the injured Troy Aikman, and that one the most costly by far. 17-3 lead as Ruzick will kick it off. The deep men are Wright and Shepard for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys need big plays now. And it goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So see whether they take it at the 35 here or not. Looks like they're going to. It'll be first down, Cowboys. Cowboys from their own 35. Laufenberg 12 of 34, 133 yards and 3 interceptions. Has just not been able to get it done in relief of Aikman against this aggressive Eagles defense. Laufenberg steps up well, a flag down, and gets it to Kelvin Martin, a gain of about 8 with a flag on the play.
Personal foul, unnecessary offense, number 46, Philippines, 15, tacked onto the dead ball spot, first down.
Izell Jenkins charged with unnecessary roughness. That was apparently away from the ball, and it turns into a first down and then some here into Eagles territory. The ball will be spotted at the 46-yard line of Philadelphia. Now make it the 43-yard line. First down, Cowboys at the 43-yard line of Philadelphia. 8:02 to go, regulation time. Laufenberg under pressure again, and it's going to be Eric Allen picking it off once more inside the 10. Intended for Irvin. Reggie White put the hit on Laufenberg.
Almost the same result as the last interception, taking great pressure up front again. Clyde Simmons, number 96, is the man who shows the top of your screen to put the heat on along with Reggie White. And Eric Allen has excellent position here inside the receiver. The ball slightly underthrown, makes it an easy interception. Pressure again, 96 keeping on the pocket, 92 Reggie White cleaning up, and Babe Laufenberg throwing another interception.
4 interceptions of Laufenberg today, 2 of them by this man, Eric Allen. Eagles from the 10-yard line on first down. 7:51 remaining regulation time. Tony gets about 283 yards. For an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Tim, earlier today we raised the question about the 49ers resting and protecting Joe Montana. Vern Lundquist has late word from San Francisco.
Joe Montana has been bothered by a slight groin strain much of the week. He woke up this morning, he wasn't feeling good. He has decided not to suit up for today's game. Now, he's not on the inactive list. He could play if necessary. But with quarterbacks dropping throughout the league, the 49ers are taking the safe route. Steve Young will start and play against the Saints.
Well, thank you, Vern. Bundled up out there. Looks like it's colder in California by far than it is here in Philadelphia. Mild weather in the east. Second down. 3. Byers breaks loose for a first down to the 22-yard line. And now here's some rough stuff again as the Bounty Bowl anticipation with the frustration here of these Cowboys starting to flare up again. Washington made the hit on Byers, and they're doing a little pushing and shoving underneath. Center David Alexander came up to help out, and he gets into it as well. And it looks like he's complaining about being poked in the eye.
Yeah, he said that somebody grabbed his face mask and was gesturing towards his eye, as though somebody might have done that while he was under the pile there. You see, Byers is down on the ground after having been tackled. And there goes all the activity with David Alexander. He's coming in here now to help out his teammate. This game is rapidly developing into a brawl.
First down. And a pickup of about 3 by Anthony Toney. And flags fly on that pile. Well, there was a lot of talk, a lot of hype involving the rivalry between these two teams. It goes back to the strike year between Buddy Ryan and Tom Landry of the Cowboys, and continued with Jimmy Johnson in his rookie season a year ago. Heated up again this week as the reporters, of course, in both cities get after these coaches at the beginning of the week before these games, these matchups, and get them stirred up by asking all of those tough questions.
First, number 56 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Eugene Lockhart gets that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Now, don't forget, we've got more football ahead here today, and you saw Vern Lundquist talking about Joe Montana not starting at home against New Orleans today. Some of you will be watching that game. Others will see the Giants out at Phoenix. And, of course, Phil Simms out of action with an injury for the Giants. They are in the playoffs. Phoenix is out after a nice little run that was stopped last week by these Dallas Cowboys. But Tim Rosenbaugh and the rest of those Cardinals under Joe Bugle are going to be a force in the very near future. They're a team definitely on the rise, like these Cowboys who came so far this year. So it's first down with the penalty at the 40-yard line. Eagles have the ball and the lead. Byers batters his way to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 5, close to 6. Under the 6-minute mark we go. The Eagles, if they win here today and next week, will clinch a home field advantage. And Randall Cunningham comes out. Jim McMahon comes in.
I think you might be partially responsible for that substitution, Tim. We better tell people what the story is all about. In our pregame show, you said something about McMahon, about how much or how little he might play today. And
well, I was kidding, Jim, that Jesse Solomon, who had predicted victory for the Cowboys, might not see any more playing time than Jim would. Well, McMahon is in there. Handing it off to Byers, and no gain on the play. McMahon has become a popular guy here in Philadelphia with very little playing time. He's shown a terrific attitude. He's a colorful character, and in the beginning of the season was running out and picking up the tee after kickoffs in the home games here at Veterans Stadium, and that endeared him to the hearts of the Eagles fans. People shouldn't forget what a great quarterback he has been in his own right. With the Super Bowl champion Bears, he provides quite a backup. Unlike, unfortunately, Babe Laufenberg for the Cowboys, not quite in the same category as a Jim McMahon.
Well, we can win with a Jim McMahon. He has a lot of experience and still a very effective quarterback here. Let's sweep here with Byers.
Byers picks up the first down with an 11-yard run off the left side.
When you see a play like that develop, Tim, particularly late in the game where an offense gets outside of a defense, it means to me the defense is beginning to tire a little bit. It's very difficult to sweep good defensive teams because you get such good pursuit from your linebackers and good containment by your outside, by your cornerbacks. And when the corner breaks down and it's that soft, at this stage in the game, you have to feel that maybe the defense is beginning to sag a little. Well, you can see right now, number 37, Washington was injured on the play.
Washington hurt at the downfield at the 40-yard line. Washington playing for the injured Vince Albritton, who's on injured reserve, and had a big game last week against Phoenix. 2 interceptions, 4 tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He was a one-man gang on defense in the secondary against the Cardinals a week ago. Just short of the first down. It's 4th and a football right at midfield. McMahon sneaks for it. First down, Eagles. 3:53 still to play, and the Eagles keep the ball. Running behind the center, Alexander.
Talk about how popular McMahon is here with the fans and the players. He does some great impersonations too. He does a Reggie White impersonation where he walks just like him. I tell you, when you see him do it, he looks just like him. And he does a Jack Nicholson impersonation. The guys call him Jack, and he turns around and gives you that stare like Jack Nicholson did in the Joker. And gosh, he's funny.
He and Reggie White are teammates on a bowling team that the Eagles have. Nearly 40 of their players participate in that Eagles bowling league. Byers this time is stuffed in the backfield. Good response by the Cowboys defensively. Horton coming up from the safety position, and Jeffcoat, the defensive end. McMahon, wearing that visor to protect his eyes, has had an eye problem for many, many years. Lots of times people see him wearing those sunglasses and they think that's all for affectation. He never says anything about it not being an affectation because he's that kind of a fun guy. Yeah. But really, it's a problem with light that bothers Jim's eyes, and so he wears sunglasses frequently.
Yeah, when he was a kid, he stuck a fork, poked a fork in his eye and damaged his eye, and he had some difficulty. It was quite nice.
2nd and 12. Tony has a big hole. Anthony Tony running hard and well inside the 35 of Dallas. Hendricks finally got him. "17-yard gain by Tony, and the Philadelphia Eagles with a 17-3 lead. They led early in the game after Troy Aikman went down with an injury. The Eagles have just slowly taken the game away from the Dallas Cowboys, as Babe Laufenberg unable to get any kind of offense going. And despite a good defensive effort, the Eagles are now in control. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, a sports topic is paramount. The dream is to go to college on a basketball scholarship and then make it to the pros. The reality for most is a trip right back to where they started from. Hear more about that on 60 Minutes tonight, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie, Always Remember I Love You. That's all ahead after our doubleheader action here on CBS this afternoon. More NFL football, followed by our primetime lineup. First down, Eagles. Jim McMahon at quarterback in relief of Randall Cunningham. Have it at the 35, and it is Anthony Tony again getting about 6 more as the Cowboys are sagging badly now, failing 17-3 in under 2 minutes to go. An unfortunate day for these Cowboys, who came in here with high expectations, determined to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia to prove that they could beat a playoff caliber team, and only to lose Troy Aikman very early in the football game to a shoulder separation, and Babe Laufenberg simply couldn't generate the same kind of offense. Second down and a long 4 for the Eagles. Thomas Sanders hits a couple. It'll leave 3rd and about 4. So the Philadelphia Eagles playing for a home field advantage, encouraged by last night's loss by the Washington Redskins to Indianapolis, have a 17-3 lead with less than a minute to go. If they win here and next week at Phoenix, they will have the home field advantage when the playoff begins. Dallas still in the playoff picture despite a loss here today. They play at Atlanta next week. Still are in the driver's seat in the NFC for the final wild card spot. On 3rd down, the Cowboys stuffed that one. Tony, no gain, and that's going to do it here with 23 seconds and counting down. And the Eagles, who said that they would beat the Cowboys somehow, some way, have done it again. 2 for 2 this season by a point in Dallas, and by a count of 17-3 here in Philadelphia.
Tim, you have to admire the effort the Cowboy defense put forward, though. They're losing their quarterback early in the game. They came back, kept their team in it, and they can be proud of their effort, even though they went down today.
So Buddy Ryan, who all indications are will return, as he says, if he chooses to next year, has himself another victory over the Cowboys and heads into the playoffs with a realistic chance at the home field if they can win next week in Phoenix. And so for Irv Cross, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from Veterans Stadium, where the final score, the Eagles 17, the Cowboys 3. Coming up next, more coverage of the NFL on CBS. We continue with Game 2 of our doubleheader. Some of you will see the New Orleans Saints at San Francisco. Others will be watching the Giants at Phoenix. Our coverage continues after this word from your local station. You have been watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.